Hello students, we had discussed about water pollution earlier and now we would discuss about very important type of pollution, that is groundwater pollution. In places like Punjab and rest of the northern plains, most of the agricultural needs and water requirements are dependent upon the groundwater. So groundwater also gets polluted, in which we have a role to play. Like if we are adding more and more nitrates into the soil, that would increase the content of nitrates in the soil and it causes the diseases like blue baby syndrome in infants. It is very problematic if there is excess of nitrate in groundwater. The groundwater that is being taken by submersible pumps and hand pumps that is consumed directly, if it is excess in nitrates, that creates a problem that it forms methemoglobin in the blood, which is that the hemoglobin binds with the methyl group and it is poisonous sort of thing and often leads to the blue baby syndrome in the infants, which may lead or may not lead to their death, but it is problematic. Now next is the presence of fluorides in the groundwater. If there is excess of fluorides, there would be skeletal fluorosis which would occur, that is pain in joints and bones, and of course there are teeth deformities. You might have heard that people of Bathinda are very much prone to teeth deformities. That is because that water is rich in fluoride, so there are dental caries and all that are being formed, so that are because of the fluorides, excess of fluorides in the water that is being consumed. So it is better to get it properly filtered and treated, but it is not possible at every scale because all of the water is being polluted and contaminated by excess of the fluorides, and it leads to the diseases which are often because of the consumption of groundwater directly. And third one is the addition of arsenic. I have told you before as well, arsenic is the king of poisons. You might have heard that term. This arsenic, if it is present in groundwater table, and it is very much prominent, that excess of water table exploitation, that means when you take lot of groundwater from the water table, what happens is this arsenic which is present in the bedrock, it starts leaching towards the water table. Now when this arsenic gets in, dissolved or gets accumulated, I would say, in the groundwater, it would lead to conditions like diarrhea and prolonged chronic, a long time you have subjected the bodies to this arsenic rich water, it would lead to skin and lung cancer sort of condition. And there is another very prominent disease, that is black foot disease. You might have heard that sugar patients, they have gangrene sort of development in their feet and legs. Such conditions can arise if excess of arsenic is being consumed in the groundwater, and these are the three major groundwater pollutants. All right, so we need to make sure that excess of the groundwater exploitation is not being done, so that the leaching of arsenic into the water table can be stopped. The fluorides which come from the industrial waste, they should not be added into the soil and other water sources, which ultimately get seeped into the water table. And nitrates, of course, excess of use of fertilizers can increase the nitrate content in the water table, and that would lead to all these conditions that we have discussed. Now these are the various effluents, industrial effluents, which are getting added into the water bodies through water. What about sewage? Municipal sewage is such a big menace for the big cities that if it gets added to the river directly, it almost kills the river at that particular place. You can understand it from very simple example or illustration, that supposedly this is the river and over here the sewage is being added. Now what will happen in this particular area of the river, the BOD that we discussed earlier would automatically increase. Why the BOD increases? Because now there is lot of organic matter that is being added. Sewage certainly is rich in organic matter. The organic matter has increased so much in this given area from here till here. It has increased so much in this given area, the organic content, that all the microbes which would be feeding on this particular, which would be present in this particular area, would have lot of food material to survive on. When they will have lot of food material, there is no such carrying capacity sort of thing that we study in case of microbes. They would divide incessantly. When they would divide, they would consume the food, and in this process the dissolved oxygen would decline to a abysmal low level. The dissolved oxygen declines because the BOD becomes so high due to the addition of organic matter. Earlier, the river makes sure that the organic matter is such that the ecosystems thrive. They do not get perished. But if the organic content has been added so much, it would be a party time for the microbes but not for the other organisms. Other organisms like fish and other larger organisms which are dependent upon this dissolved oxygen would be devoid of the oxygen and they will not be able to survive over here. But because this is a flowing water body, water would be continuously added. So after some time, this BOD would gradually decrease and the dissolved oxygen would gradually increase. So consider a point that supposedly this we consider your city where you're staying, it is having at least 500 sewage outlets. So the river would die short deaths at 500 points. So you can imagine how the people are destroying the ecosystem. Okay, now what we have to understand is that this problem needs to be overcome. We cannot manage with death of rivers every now and then. You know, rivers are lifelines of civilization. Entire civilizations have survived on rivers. So just because the sewage cannot be controlled, we cannot manage to kill each and every river, because they have lot many ecosystems which are present inside them. So we have sewage, municipal sewage wastewater treatment plants, which is a method to make sure that the organic content whichever has to reach the river, it must be trapped before it gets into the river. That means the water would be treated and clear water would be added into the river. Whatever process that we studied, that BOD is coming down slowly and gradually, BOD first increased, dissolved oxygen is getting declined due to the microbes, aerobic microbes, which are having lot of organic matter being added by the sewage into the river. We make sure that all those processes are taking place inside a plant but not inside a river. Now by that plant, that is industrial plant, not the plants that we normally deal with in botany. It is an industrial plant, sewage treatment plant. So the sewage, municipal sewage, has to be subjected to 3 types of treatments before it is being added to the river. In these treatments, the water is being made so clear and devoid of organic content so that whenever it gets added into the river water, it does not change its ecological composition. So let us see what are these wastewater treatments and how do they take place. The sewage would come for the primary treatment in the primary treatment plant, which is dependent on physical methods in which the sediment, those pollutants which could be made into the sediments, are physically separated by the process of sedimentation and filtration. Large filtration slits are present through which the sewage is made to pass, and most of the material which could be taken out as sediments is removed from there. Now then, when this effluent from this primary treatment, filtration and sedimentation is being subjected to this particular sewage, it forms an effluent. The sediments are settled down and whatever supernatant is present, that is known as effluent, and that is known as primary effluent. This primary effluent is subjected to the secondary treatment, which is biological waste would be removed biologically by the agency of aerobic microbes, which would lead to the breakdown of the biological waste by the microbes into the activated sludge. Alright. Now pay attention how it occurs. It occurs by a simple process in which the inoculum, you understand, like when we are making curd, we do put little amount of curd in it and then the entire milk turns into curd. That is inoculum of curd that is being added. So inoculum of microbes is being added into the entire tank, which is constantly aerated, because in this process we make sure that first the biological waste is aerobically digested, followed by anaerobic digestion of the sludge so that biogas could be produced and manure could be produced. So you see, this particular process is so beneficial at certain levels. This sediment removal would again be used for making the manures. This particular activated sludge after digestion by anaerobic bacteria would again be used as manure, but after the formation of biogas, which is an efficient fuel as well. So in the secondary treatment, first of all, inoculum is being added into a particular plant. In that inoculum, the microbes and flocks of few fungi are being added. They divide incessantly in presence of lot of organic material, and it is continuously agitated so that oxygen demand does not stop. Oxygen requirement is very high and oxygen supply does not stop. I beg your pardon for that. So oxygen supply is continuously being provided. The biological waste gets digested aerobically in the presence of microbes. Now after some time, what happens? This biological waste in the beginning had a lot of BOD, biochemical oxygen demand was very high because it had lot of organic content. After the aerobic digestion, the BOD declines to its lowest level because the digestion has taken place. Now the dissolved oxygen is very less, and the bacteria, they also settle down, forming a sediment and an effluent. The effluent is passed either to the river directly or is subjected to tertiary treatment for removal of turbidity in the water, whichever is present. If that is not to be done, it could be directly sent to the water body, because now the biological waste which would decline the BOD and kill the ecosystem has been removed. The activated sludge which settles down and the effluent is taken, that would be subjected to the anaerobic digestion by few bacteria which form methane and hydrogen sulfide, the gases which are required for generation of biofuels like biogas. They would be used, and the remaining water, if required, the removal of turbidity would be done by the presence of nitrates and phosphates, which bring about changes for the turbidity of water. And in this way we make sure that the sewage, which can create a lot of havoc in water bodies, has been cleared of the biological waste, and it is being added to the river water body, and it is made sure that the water body is also not getting polluted, and all the waste that was organic has been utilized in a better way